this is an interesting thing. In the last 5 days, we've heard several things. You guys have read some things. I'm going to tell you, basically, what I'm hearing is actually happening. Now, starting with cleanup. Cleanup in D.C. yesterday started at 0600 and went and completed by 5 yesterday evening. But we know they had a really good number of people picked up by 12:30 in the afternoon, right after lunch. They were really moving. And my understanding is D.C.'s done. Doesn't mean we're not going to have martial law there for 30 days, because that's what President Trump said. So you've got some military, you've got some federalized agents in there, you've got FBI, you've got reservists on there. Basically, you've got a good crew that's really continuing and will be there to help clean up D.C. Guys, I used to live 8 miles from D.C. And it used to be the most beautiful city, great wide streets. You know, it was a really good place and I didn't go down there that much, but we'd go over there, and it was a beautiful place. And we don't want to see it with homeless encampments and all that stuff. Man, it's amazing to think of what I've experienced there. But beyond that, other cities, a total of 37 cities are targeted. And our guys are going there. They're taking them in some order, but they're there and they're staged and ready to go to clean them up. And you know what I mean when I say clean up on aisle 3, clean up on aisle 7. You know what that means. That's what's happening. And so illegals, especially those with criminal backgrounds, are being picked up and they're being transported. They're going to be deported. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. President Trump is working out something for farm workers and hotel workers and probably restaurant workers. There'll be some people that will be able to stay or go and come back with some form of work visa, I would think. And I don't know, maybe a path to citizenship, I hope. I don't know what it is, but it's probably going to take an act of Congress to do it all. So that's happening across the country, and we understand that the veil is to be lifted tomorrow, Wednesday, or at the end of tomorrow. And that means that certain things that we've been looking to hear and see may be visible to us. They may show us some of the things that we've been hearing about for years. And maybe they'll reveal some of that to us. So that's amazing what's happening yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Primarily, I think the cleanup is important, and the full cleanup of these 37 cities may take another week. It may take 8, 9 days to get it all done. But the people are in place. Our guys and women are in place to get it done. And they will get it done. A lot of times when President Trump says something is going to happen, it's already happened. You guys have seen that. And I can tell you that we did hear from our Social Security representative that we look like there may be an increase in Social Security for those that are receiving it from age 62 on up. There may be an increase coming in as early as tomorrow. I've heard that it will, and I've heard that it might not as early as tomorrow. I'm going to say if your birthday is in the first 10 days of the month, whenever that is, check to see if something comes in tomorrow. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th of the month and you're on Social Security, check to see on the 20th, which is the next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, to see if you have an increased amount. And then if your birthday is in the last 10 days of the month, from the 21st to the 30th, or in this case, maybe 31st, you're in the last group, check on the 27th to see if you have an increase in your Social Security. And it should be substantial. Now, that's Social Security, which should show up tomorrow if you're in the first 10 days. If your birthday is in the first 10 days of the month. Let's see what happens. Now remember, we've talked about increases in Social Security, talked about DOGE, we've talked about tariff rebates, etc., but nothing's happened yet. But I believe if those increases start tomorrow, we're going to be in pretty good shape. I'm trying to think otherwise there is supposed to be a 3-day holiday, unannounced holiday in Iraq. And I believe it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And remember, today's Tuesday night. So this unannounced holiday would have the banks closed for these 3 days. Not sure why, really. Don't know why. It may have to do with cleanup there. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if that's what it's about. But it was supposed to be an unannounced, let's call it bank holiday, or an unannounced holiday that affected banks to be closed. We know that we have a new rate on the dinar at the banks, but don't have it necessarily yet on redemption center screens. And we know that we heard today that the Iraqi dinar is being traded not on the Forex yet, but on the ISX. The Iraqi Stock Exchange is trading the Iraqi dinar. So that's a good sign. That's new. That's coming in. We were told that when and again, this is one source that gave us this information, that when the Iraqi dinar showed up on the Forex, that we could get our notifications that same day. We don't have it on the Forex yet. Obviously, it's not going to go on until they're ready for it to go on there. But what's really interesting is that I'm hearing information that shows that things are happening behind the scenes, that money is moving in place into bondholders' accounts. They still don't have access to it, though, yet. They're still waiting on emails that'll tell them when they can access their accounts. They've been waiting just like we have. And I really don't think they're going to get access until we at least have our 800 numbers and start setting our appointments. So, when are we going to get notified by these emails? This is the thing that you guys know we all want to know. We all look for this. And I'm always asking, how does such and such intel affect us directly? How do we make sense out of what is happening, and how does it reflect on us going? Bondholders, currency holders, Tier 4A, Admirals Groups, Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group. What is the timeline? We've had a timeline, and I believe the timeline has been altered. I believe that even though they may have algorithms in place to set all these things into motion, and nothing can stop it now, we've all heard that, right? Nothing can stop it now. Maybe that is the case. But I cannot say absolutely that's the case, because we've had a few things happen that has slowed this down for us. And guess what? The deep state doesn't want us to have this yet. Is that a surprise to anybody? It shouldn't be. But we know that we're going to win. And Trump and the new administration is winning. And no, I'm never going to get tired of winning. I never did get tired of winning, and I'm not about to get tired of it now. I think that was President Trump kind of joking, making a facetious joke with us in his first term. Because we are winning. And we are winning on tariffs. So we're winning. It's not hurting our pricing here. We're going to be just fine. Inflation is down. Gas prices are coming down again. I mean, we're in good shape. And we're going to be in incredibly good shape. I can't speak to how soon we're going to get the R&R, except it should be for us at the exchange centers, already established in our quantum accounts. So we'll get that there. If you're not involved in currencies and aren't going to be going to a redemption center, then maybe you'll get your R&R as a direct deposit. It could be a very large amount, and it wouldn't make sense to send it in the form of a check. It wouldn't make much sense. So we'll see how that comes out and how it affects different age groups. I'm going to try to save that for Thursday, because I may have better information by then to help declare what those amounts are going to be based on the ages that you are. The other thing is, do we have a timeline right now that gives us our dates of notification time to set up our exchanges and our first day of exchanges? The answer is no, not yet. We've had some dates come and go, as you guys know, and I've put out dates based on the information that I hear. But at this point, it's probably wise to not try to be too optimistic and put out what I think or what I'm hearing, because what I'm hearing is not clear on when this is going to actually go for us. So I want to say about some other subjects, we have to be patient. Hey, we're being patient. We're learning patience. Don't ever ask God to give you patience unless you're willing to go through a lot more stuff to gain that patience. God's given us the patience to go through this, and that's enough. We don't need anything else. We don't need any more to gain the patience that we have over 20 years plus for me. And so, listen, guys, I am content. I have joy. I'm content with the Big Call universe, with everything that we're doing. And I want to thank those who responded to Thursday's call. I believe it was Tuesday or Thursday. We got a number of people willing to help us in those 5 states that I mentioned on the last call. And I'm really happy. Unfortunately, I had planned a trip to leave, having already received the exchanges and the med bed, but it's just not going to happen as soon as I had hoped. And so the idea of a trip leaving Thursday and starting Friday in Western North Carolina, I've contacted the people by email, and we're just going to have to postpone it. But I'm really encouraged by the people that have responded, and we're going to have one heck of a group to work with when we get that cranked up. And in addition to North Carolina, upcountry of South Carolina, East Tennessee, Northeast Georgia, and the tip of Virginia, the southwestern tip of Virginia, those areas are ones that we're going to concentrate on. We're not forgetting what Hurricane Helene and other hurricanes have done to Florida. And I've got Bob running point on that. So we'll talk again and see what we can do for Florida. Okay? But I don't want anybody to think that I've forgotten about Maui. I have not forgotten about Maui at all. It seems to be at a standstill right now. They're moving very slowly. And we just don't know exactly what the plan is for Maui right now. It's very slow. And I think that we're talking to people that are traveling there. We're talking to contacts that we have there in both Maui and Oahu. And I would just like to say, when they are ready to begin, we'll be ready to help. And maybe we can stir the pot a little bit and get some activity moving from Maui. I would love it. I love Lahaina. Man, I've been there 7 or 8 times. And I loved it. And I hate that it got burnt up, and I know what happened to do that. All of y'all know that, what happened to cause those fires. They were man-made. They were not natural. The winds didn't help any, but they get those I call them Kona winds, whatever, that come through, and that they fan those flames. But supposedly, all of that DEW weapon stuff, direct energy weapon, has been minimized or negated that the deep state had. So we'll see. You remember the fires that were started all over California? DEW weapon, probably, for the most of it, at least for the Palisades fire. And same thing in Maui. Hey, they might have been the same thing that happened back behind Myrtle Beach, back in that area. I mean, it's hard to know in some cases. But we haven't forgotten Maui, and I want everybody to realize that, especially if you wrote us about it. Realize that until that area is ready to receive help and ready to receive rebuilding help, we just, our hands are tied right now. But obviously we can't do as much as we can post-RV. Once the RV happens, it's all over but the crying. We're going to get going and we're going to start moving. I want everybody to take this time to assess where you are with your projects, with your plans. It's a good time to plan. I think it's a very good time to plan. And that's what I was doing last week. I was trying to plan a familiarization trip or FAM trip to Western North Carolina, refamiliarize myself with everything, and see what is happening and what they still need. And we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot, and we're going to be able to do a lot. Now, it sure would help if we could get these numbers and get started, right? Make a big difference. But I want everybody to realize we all need a little break. We all need a little staycation, vacation, some kind of family time or no family time to regenerate, to get regenerated. I mean, many of us are looking for new homes, new cars, stuff like that. Yeah, that's right. And I'm looking to pick up properties for the Veterans Retreat Network and Pastoral Retreat Network. You know, you kind of know what I've been talking about. We're going to make our contacts for Rebuild America, like we talked about earlier here, and also see what we can now. Rebuild International would get started afterwards, but I will probably get underway with that in a few months. Let's see what happens. I mean, it might take a fam trip, too, to get that started. We're going to make our contacts, see what we can put together. We've got to build our leadership teams. We've got to build out our new websites, our URLs that we've held for years now, waiting for all this to happen. Okay? And Bob and I have talked about that and how we intend to do that, and we still intend to move forward with that. So in the meantime, what is Stu offering? MedBed 100.